ナモアミダ仏。
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 ナマンダナマンダナマンダナマンダナマンダナマンダナマンダ。
Today we are gathering in memorial of Reverend Tamai and for all the bishops who have served the BCA. I will now read the Hyobyakumon, the pronouncement. For the emancipation of heavy karmic bound beings, the Tathagata Amida established the primal vow that is bestowed upon us. The Tathagata Shakyamuni appeared in this world for the purpose of expounding and clarifying this primal vow of Amida. The 7 eminent teachers of our sect, having received the true intent of the Tathagata, have clarified the teachings to succeeding generations. Our founder Shinran Shonin revealed this in the Kyogo Shinshu, and it named it Jodo Shinshu, the true essence of the Pure Land teaching. Under the transforming guidance of Shinran, we have heard the true teachings and received the concerns of the great compassion, becoming true disciples of the Buddha. Profoundly difficult to repay is our gratitude for the benefaction of our teachers. Thus presently, we revere the Buddha and our predecessors and walk on the great path of indebtedness and gratitude. For the future, we cherish the certainty of the birth and the wondrous fruition of nirvana. Today, we observe the memorial for Reverend Tamai and for the BCA bishops. At this gathering, with people here and everywhere around the world, we have our ties to the Dharma. We adorn the altar of the Buddha and chant the sacred teachings, and we express our gratitude for the benefaction of the Buddha. Join me in Gasho. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu.
高原義に偉人無語如善妙無用当社日がまに主公園女開始のんぺい有脈樹も如来予言朝世無理小学第四コールジポ開門精進三昧智慧意徳無量修正慶人体前年小文法会愚人人の空語外体無名欲ぬ生存よぬ人の死死人徳無量空君広大知恵人妙光明 よいそ真の大戦がんがさぶ在所法可動生じ未不下脱不正上位解任生人如是三昧知恵以上五世徳分不行志願一切空空一切大安慶始有部百千の億万無量大小衆女五者供養一切使徒諸仏不尿具道賢聖不客非尿五者諸仏世界無不可計無種節の光明師匠変師匠国如是精進異人難女両がさぶ国土第一五種奇妙道場超絶国女内容任務闘争がと愛民道断一切実法来生新熱症状意図が国経楽安の公文神妙是が心象本願の日力少々欲実法生存知恵無下上領子孫知が信用経 人人寿福家ナマンナブナマンナブナマンナブナマンナブナマンナブナマンナブがんにしくどく病のせいさいのほんも大心おうじょうあんまこナモアミダ仏
ナモアミダ仏。
ナモアミダ仏
ナモアミダ仏。
ナモアミダ仏
ナモアミダ仏。ナモンダ仏。ナモンダ仏。ナモンダ仏。ナモンダ仏。
人参受けがたし今すでに行く仏法聞きがたし今すでに聞く好み根性に向かってどせずんばさらにいずれの章に向かってか好みをどせん大種もろともに指針に三方に帰依し立てまつるべし自ら仏に帰依し立てまつるまさに願わくは主情とともに大道を大下して無常意を起こさん自ら法に帰依し立てまつるまさに願わくは主情とともに深く胸像に入りて知恵海のごとくならん自ら僧に帰依し立てまつるまさに願わくは主情とともに大種を通りして一切無下ならん無常人人未明の法は百千万号にも相応ことがたし我今検問し授受することを得たり願わくは如来の真実義を下し立てまつらんナモアミダ仏ナモアミダ仏ナモアミダ仏ナモアミダ仏ナモアミダ仏ナモアミダ仏Three treasures. Hard is it to be born into human form. Now we are living it. Difficult is it to hear the teachings of the Blessed One. Now we hear it. If we do not deliver ourselves in the present life, no hope is there that we shall be freed from suffering and sorrow in the ocean of birth and death. Let us reverently take refuge in the three treasures of the truth. I take refuge in the Buddha. May we all together absorb into ourselves the principle of the way to enlightenment and become aware of his supreme teachings. I take refuge in the Dharma. May we all together be submerged in the depths of his doctrine and gain wisdom as deep as the ocean. I take refuge in the Sangha. May we all together become units in true accord in the life of harmony in a spirit of universal brotherhood, freed from the bondage of selfishness. Even through ages of myriads of kalpas, hard is it to hear such an excellent, profound, and wonderful doctrine. Now we are able to hear and receive it. Let us thoroughly understand the true meanings of Tathagata's teaching. Namo Amida Butsu. 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 Namo Amida Butsu.
三条浄土の大師と歩みん生寿し玉いて、真実信心進めしめ、浄土の位に入れしみよう。Great masters of the Pure Land School, the 7 patriarchs in India, China, and Japan, please let us, sentient beings in this last defiled age, enter into your compassionate care. May the true mind of entrusting to Amida, which is the only cause for salvation, be granted to us, so that we may attain the stage in which we are determined to attain enlightenment. Namandavats, 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 namandavats. So, hi everybody, welcome to this YouTube service. Today we are remembering, memorializing, and celebrating the lives of Reverend Tamai, who was a minister here for over 40 years, as well as all the BCA bishops who have served since the first days of the BCA, since the first Japanese immigrants came from Japan to the United States, and thusly Jodo Shinshu followed. And ministers made the trek into the unknown from the land that they knew to here in the United States in order to share the Buddha Dharma with not only those immigrants, but us today. We are the direct cause, we are the direct effect of all the work that those people did. And so today, I've been contemplating the concept of what it is to be part of a stream, and to that end, to be a student. So today, I am wearing what's called Sumi Gojo Gesa. This is the Gojo Gesa that is worn when you're in Tokodo, when you're a student, when you are following someone else's instruction in order to be able to do what they do. And I think for Buddhists, this is our entire lives. So when I became a priest, they didn't call out, hey, Caitlin Masher Mace, come over here, you're now a priest. They called me Shaku Kongo. Shaku means disciple of Shakyamuni, student of Shakyamuni. And this becomes a representation of my karma. So karma is a hard word in English because in the zeitgeist of the American populace and in English in general, the word karma has kind of been co-opted into a concept of what goes around comes around. You did this, and so karma got you. Ain't karma hard? And has been applied in many ways to many different people whenever we see something bad happen to them. Well, that's their karma. It sure did get them. And this is problematic because karma isn't that petty and isn't that small. Our karma, my karma, is the product of every event which has happened leading up into this moment. And my karma is also every event which happens after here based upon what I do. And that seems like it's pretty powerful. And one of the things for us, for Jodo Shinshu Buddhists, what we realize is that we, while being afloat in our karma and being affected by our karma, can't affect it to the level in which we can reach enlightenment. And thusly, we look to Amida Buddha. But how do we know about Amida Buddha? How do we know the teachings in the sutras? How do we know to say Namo Amida Butsu? This is from our teachers and the karma which they have left to us, the cause and effect of the actions they have done. And so in that manner, I am the student of every single Shin minister who has ever been alive, every single Buddhist priest, all the way to Shakyamuni. I am their student, and I am deeply, deeply grateful. That is my karma. So since it is Reverend Tamai's memorial, I want to read something from his book, Ichinyo. And this is a tale that involves karma. And this is his view. This comes from his collection called Living Buddhistically. Trained by adversity. Why ply the skies, O seagulls? Why not settle down? You will find wind and waves wherever you go. Let us think a little about this thing called adversity. Some time ago, a woman said she wanted to speak with me very much, and so I called her home. She was lying in bed seriously ill. She had been bedridden for many years and knew she would die soon. She wanted to hear some words of comfort before she passed on. Her husband was a farmer. Because of the lack of rain, his crops were withering. In addition, their eldest son had been killed in an automobile accident when he was only 12 years of age. Their eldest living child was only 10. There were 5 children in the family, including the youngest infant. The young mother had awaited my arrival with great expectation. The moment I entered the room, she cried, "Sensei! Why do I have to suffer so much? I cannot believe a God or a Buddha would allow me to suffer such hardships. I think of my dead son every day. And when I think of my unfortunate husband who I must leave behind, and the future of my remaining 5 children, I feel like I will go mad. Why? Why do I have to suffer like this? That is what I'd like to hear." In her urgency, she raised her voice and began to cry. I felt sorry for her, yet what could I do? I wept in sympathy with her. If I could change places with her, I thought. If I could only change places with her. Then I sat before her old Butsudan, and I chanted a sutra, gave a sermon, and returned home. About 2 weeks later, that young wife passed from this world while reciting Nembutsu. I cannot forget that young wife and mother even today. Without the realization that all things are due to my own karma, I will feel bitter towards others and self. Why do we suffer adversities? Suffering is the proof of the law of cause and effect, which is always in the process of being revealed in our lives. That is what we must humbly care for ourselves at this very moment. The environment we find ourselves in and the conditions in which we live under are not revealed suddenly without reason. A seed that was planted somewhere resulted in the fruit of our present circumstances. Thus, our circumstances were established by us in the past and are just being revealed in the present. If we realize that we established our present circumstance in the past, how can we complain about our circumstance in the present? There is no point in becoming bitter towards others or cursing the world about our present circumstance. There is nothing we can do other than to say, I am sorry to be in the circumstance that I am in. I am ashamed to be in such a situation. We are surprised, amazed, and most of all dismayed at the depths of our evil karma when we are confronted by adverse circumstances. And when we realize this, how motai nai we feel about the great compassion of Amida Buddha, who takes such deep and evil karma upon himself. Only because the rain pours so furiously is autumn brocade so brilliant with maple leaves. Well then, what should we do when we fall into difficult circumstances? Generally, our present circumstances are the result of the acts of our past, and it is our responsibility to accept the results of those acts. Our present suffering, poverty, illness, and all of our debts of our past actions that we must repay. Unless all those debts are repaid, we cannot be freed from the consequences of our past action. We cannot escape no matter how we cry about this. We cannot take our place. All we can do is accept our responsibility. In the Daimyo Jukyo, the Sutra on Limitless Life, there is a well-known phrase, earnestly control your mind and act properly. Expanded a little, this phrase means, do not be disheartened if your present circumstances are unfortunate. Do not be impatient. Rather, live each day to its fullest with a beautiful heart and mind. If you do good, good fortune will come to you without fail. This is the teaching for those in adverse circumstance. We must not despair because we suffer now. Do not be impatient. Just sit down calmly and quietly and reflect upon your circumstances. If you bring down your own petty desires into the picture and say, I don't want to do this, and I don't want to do that, all that will happen is you will be filled with anguish and worry, and you will be unable to sleep at night. At such times, we should discard attachment to thinking we can help ourselves with our own effort. At such times, there is only one way, walking the way of the great Buddha-centered power, Tairiki, without being led astray. All we need to do is live within the Buddha's mind without being turned aside by circumstance. Life shines brightly only by being polished by adverse circumstances. Whatever our difficulties, if we rely upon the Buddha's power, we can endure anything. A day when we smile will absolutely come. The winter plum, how I wish its strength be imparted in me. How patient the bamboo, overburdened with snow. Let us accept our karma without blaming the conditions we find ourselves in, and let the condition we find ourselves in work out for ourselves. When this acceptance leads to awareness of our indebtedness to the Buddha, we will be blessed with a way of living which is neither mountains nor valleys, but rather nothing is an obstacle. These were the words of Reverend Tamai. I never met Reverend Tamai. He passed when I was a very, very, very young infant. And I didn't even come to Jodo Shinshu Buddhism until near 28, 29 years after he passed. So in one way of looking at it, I'm not his student because I never met him. And yet today, as we memorialize him, I realize that I am his student. And I am indebted to the teachings which he has imparted through his words and his works here at TSDBT. But I'm also the student of every other minister that has ever worked here, and of everyone in the Sangha, because I have learned so much from each and every one of you. And I am the student and disciple of every BCA bishop and minister, every Hongan Jiha minister. I owe them a debt of gratitude. They have given me the karma which has allowed me to hear the one teaching that every single one of these people hold dear to their hearts. Say the Nembutsu. Namo Amida Butsu. This is the one thing that every single person who has heard these teachings knows here. The Nembutsu is the way for us to escape the karma which we create. We are based akunin. We are bombu. We have foolishness inside of us, and we cannot escape from this ocean of karma, this ocean of birth and death that we live on, without the great working, tariki, of Amida Buddha. So thank you, Sensei. Thank you for letting me be your student. And thank you to all the BCA bishops. Thank you to all the Hongan Jiha ministers. Thank you to every one of you out watching for being my teacher. I owe you more gratitude than I can express, and I will work my life to give it to you. Thank you. Please join me in Gasho. Sancho jodo no daishi to aimin shoujo shi taime te shinjitsu shinjin susume shime jojo no kurai ni ire shimyo. Great masters of the Pure Land School, the 7 patriarchs in India, China, and Japan, please let us, sentient beings in this last defiled age, enter into your compassionate care. May the true mind of entrusting to Amida, which is the only cause for salvation, be granted to us, so that we may attain the stage in which we are determined to attain enlightenment. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu.
弥陀成仏のこの方は、今に実行を経たまえり、発心の降臨極もなく、背の猛妙を照らすなり、南無阿弥陀仏、南無阿弥陀仏、南無阿弥陀仏、南無阿弥陀仏、南無阿弥陀仏、南無阿弥陀仏。皆様、本日もデンバー仏教会へようこそのお参りでございます。本日は玉井先生のメモリアルサービスでございます。玉井先生といえば、多くの人々に愛された開教師の一人で、今でも当時の玉井先生の話をよく耳にします。いつもニコニコ笑っておられたそうです。私もお会いしてみたかったのですが、私がデンバーへ赴任した時にはすでにお浄土へ行かれてから長い時間が経っていました。それでもこのデンバーのお寺の至るところに玉井先生の写真があり、そして玉井先生の銅像やお寺の横には玉井タワーと呼ばれるビルが建っています。私はその玉井タワーに1年間住ませていただきました。デンバーの生活を1年間経験してみて、冬は雪が積もり、とても寒いことを身に染みて感じました。玉井先生もこの寒さの中、親鸞上人の教えとともに念仏者としての生活をされていたのだと想像しながら、先生の写真を見ると、どれも穏やかな顔をされていて、私の憧れの先生の一人です。デンバーの冬は私にとって今年が2回目になりますが、10月に入ってから早くも冷え込む日がありました。皆様が体調を崩されていないことを願っています。そして今はコロナウイルスの影響でなかなか自宅から出れず、まだまだ人と会うのに制限がある状況です。以前のようにお寺に集まって皆様とご一緒にお勤めをしたり、顔を合わせてお話ができない日々が続いていますが、早くまた皆様とお寺に集まれる日を楽しみにしています。デンバー仏教会がオンラインでのサービスを始めてからしばらくが経ちましたが、もしこの状況を玉井先生が見たら一体どういったことを思われるでしょうか。そう考えながら玉井先生の著書である一如を開いてみました。するとそこには玉井先生が今まさにこの状況を生きている私に言っているのではないかと思えるような言葉が記してありました。それはこのような言葉でした。玉井先生の言葉です。皆様、いかがお過ごしでしょうか。謹んでお見舞い申し上げます。今までの生活に比べてさぞ不自由なことでございましょう。どうぞお忍びください。お互いに忍ばせていただきましょう。こう書かれていました。忍ぶという漢字は忍耐の忍と書きます。つまりこんな状況ですが、お互いに耐え忍びましょうということが書かれていました。この言葉から始まる文には、仏教の生き方、戦時収容所の皆様へという題名がついていました。次に玉井先生が記されていたのは、親鸞上人は35歳の時に越後に流罪になりました。その場所は日本でも特に雪の深いところでございます。ことに冬は波の荒い日本海から身を切るような寒い風が吹いてくるのです。どんなにかつらかったでしょう。玉井先生もこのデンバーの寒い冬を経験されていますから、親鸞上人が流罪になったら雪の多い土地を想像して、どんなにかつらかったでしょうという言葉を記されたのでしょう。その続きにはこう書いてあります。けれど 親鸞上人はその中にあって少しも不平を言わず、ただ罪深き私どもを必ず救うと申された如来様のお慈悲をお喜びになりました。そして縁があるたびにその地の人々にありがたい如来様のお話をなさいました。身の不幸が深くなるにつれてますます在業が深いことを思い、それを縁としていよいよお慈悲の尊さをお味わいになる親鸞上人のその心構えが今の私どものお手本だと信じますと玉井先生は述べます。そしてその後に書いてあった言葉を見たときに、私はとても不思議な気持ちになりました。その言葉とは、こんな境遇に生きているときこそ阿弥陀様のご恩を喜ばせていただける。そしてそれは自分の力ではなく阿弥陀様のお育てのご恩であるという言葉です。なぜ私がこれを読んだときに不思議な気持ちになったのか考えてみますと、遠い昔に玉井先生によって記されたこの言葉が、私が仏教の学校で学んだ教えと全く同じことを言っておられたからです。まるで私の直接の先生が書いたのではないかと思えるほどそっくりな言い回しでした。つまりこれは浄土真宗の教えが何年経っても決して変わらないということでしょう。教えを正しく伝えられてきた人々がおられ、自分自身もまた教えが広がっていく現場を今目撃しています。それを深く実感するとともに、嬉しく何ともありがたい気持ちになりました。今玉井先生と私は違う時代を生きていて直接会ったことはありませんが、この時私は先生に親近感を覚えました。今私に届いている教えが親鸞上人や玉井先生が出会ってきたものと同じものなんだという安心感がありました。皆さんは新宗宗歌の3番の歌詞を覚えていますでしょうか。海の内との隔てなく、御親の徳の尊さを我が腹からに伝えつつ、御国の旅を共にせん。私はこの新宗宗歌の3番の歌詞が特に好きです。この御国の旅を共にせんという部分ですが、御国とはお浄土と書いて御国と読みます。同じお念仏の道を歩み、同じお浄土へ一緒に旅をする、そういった仲間がたくさんいる。過去にも現在にも、そして未来にもその仲間がたくさんいるのだと感じさせてくれる温かい歌詞です。違う時代で違う状況の中を生きている私たちが時間や空間を超えて同じ教えを共有している、このことをとても嬉しく思います。阿弥陀様は時間や空間を超えた光の仏様と言われます。その光に今私が出会っていることは本当に起こりがたいことであり、ありがたいことであると玉井先生をご縁に本日はお味わいさせていただきました。本日も尊いご縁をいただき誠にありがとうございました。寛容は拝読のご文章にて。上人一流のご関係の趣は信心のもって本とせられ候。そのゆえはもろもろの造業を投げ捨てて一心にmidaに奇妙すれば、不可思議の眼力として仏の方より往生は事情せしめたも。 その位を一年発起入賞上始終とも釈し、その上の称名念仏った如来我が往生を定め玉井し、ご恩法人の念仏と心べきなり、アナカシコアナカシコ。ナモ阿弥陀仏、ナモ阿弥陀仏、ナモ阿弥陀仏、南蛮陀仏、南蛮陀仏、南蛮陀仏、南蛮陀仏。